Hi, my name is Patricia Cannon, and for the next couple minutes, I'm going to be talking about my findings for my SWOT analysis for the Riverbanks Zoo. So I went to the Riverbanks Zoo on Sunday, November the 3rd. It was around noon, and I figured Sunday maybe wouldn't be as crowded. So I really found that this place had a lot of strengths and opportunities and not that many weaknesses and threats. So it really ended up being a positive experience when doing the SWOT analysis. So some of the strengths I found were location. It's very easy to find. It's very close to campus from me. It's right off the highway. There was tons of signs. So that was a big help in getting there. And then right after getting there, the entry and the tickets. Entry is right up front. It's very easy to get into, and the tickets were very accessible. I actually got mine right on my phone right before I walked into the gate. But you could get them up. You could get a physical ticket right when you got there. And then size. Size was very large, so even though there were a lot of people there, I never felt crowded. I didn't have to wait to get in because the venue is so big. And then after walking around the habitats, they were very good at showcasing the animals. They were also very big. You never really had to look over people. And they really showed the habitat of that animal very well. And then the star down here, because this was one thing I was actually pretty shocked about that I didn't know, was private parties. They have an area in the back of the zoo that you can rent out. So you could rent it out for birthdays or really any event that you would want. Some people actually had weddings there, I found out. So that was pretty cool. And so the weaknesses. So I only found 3 really big weaknesses that I noticed, which first one being price. Especially being a college student, it was a little expensive to go to the zoo, especially if you wanted to go more than once a year. And then navigating the event. So once I got into the event, it being so big and they're having so many habitats that it was very hard to find each and every one. And there were maps available, but even the map wasn't very helpful. So it was pretty hard to figure out where to go. And with that, the staff, I couldn't really find anyone sitting around or really, especially if you were towards the back of the venue, there was no really customer service sitting back there or anything. So it took me a very long time to go to each and every place in the zoo. And then, so opportunities. So discounts for students. So with the weakness of the prices, they could do a discount for students. I know a lot of students would probably want to go over the weekends, especially if they didn't have much to do. And so if you could bring your student ID and get a discount on the tickets, I know it would probably bring in a lot more revenue that way. And then host events or deal nights. So aside from students, they could do deal nights for people outside of the university. Maybe like Sundays, it was half priced or something. And they could host events. So like theme nights or anything that could bring in more people that, especially if people went to the zoo all the time, it could give them something new to do there. And then more advertisement. I don't really see the zoo advertised that much, especially on like TV. Really the only reason I know it's there is because I live in Columbia and I see the main sign on the highway all the time. So if they did more advertising, it could potentially bring in more people from outside of Columbia or outside of the little university bubble of people that already know about it. And potential threats. So I really only found 2 main potential threats. One of them being upkeep, which just entails really just managing the zoo. I know a lot probably goes into it, like cleaning and food for the animals and any upkeep that comes with the animal and just the event. And if this isn't taken care of properly, then that could really hinder the look of the event, the feeling of the event, anything like that. And then the starred one I have, which I think is the main threat that not only the Riverbank Zoo has, but really any zoo, is the epidemic of animal cruelty right now. There's been a lot more awareness and a huge trend with, animal cruelty and not wanting to abuse animals, and the zoo has a lot to do with this because of people feeling like people shouldn't be going to these places that have animals kept away from the wild. So this could be a huge potential threat for the zoo because people would probably even stop going or even boycotting the place. But aside from these threats, in conclusion, I had a really positive experience going here, and I had a lot of fun doing the SWOT analysis. And I think even though it does have a few weaknesses and the two big threats, I think it will continue to really bring in a lot of people and a lot of revenue, and people will continue to support it and go. So I encourage everyone to go.